What's up, guys? It's your boy, Agent Ubeda, Alexis Ubeda here, back at Safe at Home Podcast. Today, we have El Camino's legendary, Benjamin Woody Cliffords. I get you with the Benjamin. Look at him.
Right out of the gates. Let's go. I like it.
So, so many things to talk about with you. Founder, owner of Sportswest Performance in Westlake Village, right? Is that where you guys are at right now?
That's correct, yes.
That's awesome. You've been there like 20 years, right?
We've had a bunch of facilities, but we've
But
been
I mean,
at
like
this.
your company.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's been, I was in college, actually, at the time when I started this company.
No.
The year
That's
before
impressive.
the year before I got drafted. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist. My family was in Hawaii, but sports science obviously was something I was important to me for my own career.
That's
and,
awesome.
Now for other athletes' careers.
So we're going to get into all that. We're going to get into it right now. But like I said, I just want to give a quick introduction. And I want to know about how everybody knows you. Even I grew up, when I was growing up, watching you play as Woody. And then I'm doing my research. I'm like, Benjamin, where did you come from? And I think that's where you get the triple Bs, right? Brody, Bronson, and Brooklyn. Is that why?
That's
Are you the four Bs? Is
that's
that what?
Part of it.
Oh, you saw I cut that one, right?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm like, that's got to be it. Is that why you got the three Bs? The triple Bs? Is that what it is?
Benjamin, I was named after my grandpa.
I gotcha.
On my mom's side.
Awesome.
He passed away before I was born.
Yeah, okay.
So I never changed the name. But no one's ever called me Benjamin except for my grandma.
And then me today.
And then you today, I was going to say. Yesterday, I was at the airport on a million flight delays, and it was funny because I was talking to the guys. We were just talking sports, and I told them my name was Woody. And then when I pulled out my credit card to pay, they saw that it was Benjamin.
Right.
They thought I was telling them a fake name or something.
Oh, how funny.
Everybody calls me
I want to
Woody.
know the story behind it. Don't tell me right now. But 1997, 1998 champs, right, at El Camino?
Definitely.
So we'll get into all that. We'll get into Sportswest Performance as well. We want to start off the show a little different today. We're going to do our gifts off the bat. We got a gift for you. This one is actually sponsored by Topps, eBay, and our main sponsor is Mama Breaks. This is Mama Breaks here. She's a sports collector. It's a little sticker for you. And what she did was she was very kind enough to give us this box of Topps trading cards. So I'm going to give you a pack. When's the last time you opened one of these?
Man, my kids are opening them all the time. But
are they into cards?
Everything, yeah.
No way.
They're all about it. Yeah,
all right, we're gonna send them a pack. I want you to open that now.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, this is what we're gonna do.
Let's see what we got.
We're gonna open this and we're gonna see if we pull something, as the kids say, right?
Give me my money.
So they have relics, and I know I say this all the time, but some of you may or may not know. Relics is basically like a jersey portion of the the players, a piece of their jersey or wood. A wooden bat, a bat part of their game used bats. Let me see who I pull. You tell me who you pull. I've got Nestor Cortez.
Hey, I got a Nestor Cortez autograph.
Oh,
like.
No way. A SIG? You pulled the signature? Hey, there we go. Hey, let's go. I got a special one right here, too. I think you might have heard of this one. The Bluefield Orioles? I just pulled one.
You pulled one of those?
I pulled one of them. Hey, check it out.
That doesn't even exist anymore.
Of course it does. It's right here. And this is, you probably have plenty of these. I'm not sure, but it's a gift from us to you. We got your rookie card right here. Look at this. When's the last time you saw that bad boy?
Fresh out of college. Not for a while.
You have one of these at home hanging out
somewhere? There's definitely some of these cards for sure. Someone actually sent me in the mail from Texas a few weeks ago some cards to sign.
No way.
They're like 20 years old. Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
But this is your rookie, right?
First year. We beat the Twins in the championship, Joe Mauer.
Wow. No way. Mauer was on that team?
Yeah, Mauer was the first pick in the draft when I got drafted, and we ended up playing them. There was an Elizabeth in it, and we played them in the championship game, and we beat them. It was awesome.
So, Woody, you're winning championships all the time. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me or I was lucky, but from the time I was in Pinto all the way until AAA, we were having some pretty good teams.
That's awesome. Like I said, we're gonna get into all that. Thank you, Mama Breaks, for giving us these awesome Topps cards. I obviously didn't pull Woody's rookie card in here, but you got a Nestor signed. So you know what? You got to get one of these. We got to get you. You gotta protect that bad boy. Here.
Yeah, I'll throw a sleeve on.
Yeah, throw a sleeve on. Throw one of those on there.
Perfect.
Wow, that's awesome. So that's our signature, because you're supposed to get one sig a box, or a relic, and you just pulled it.
Got
I think you just pulled. My kid's gonna be like, God dang it.
My kids are gonna be fighting over it.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me see if I got anything. I don't see anything. Altuve. Oh, O'Neal Cruz.
That guy's
He's
a
not
beast.
That man.
Animal.
This guy is ridiculous. Oh, Kenley Jansen. Jesus Christ. I'm not a big fan of that guy. I never was.
Man, he gives me a heart attack almost every time he came
that's
in.
why. So you feel like me. Okay. So that was our gift segment. I think you got something for us as well, right? Was that the
Absolutely, yeah, sure for you guys.
that shirt? We'll leave it there for now, Anthony. We just want you to sign that if you don't mind, and then if we got one rookie card for you of yours and one for us for the squad, if you don't mind signing it. What's that, Anthony?
Yeah, I brought that one for you.
Oh, you brought us a card.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't know this. Oh, this is awesome. We'll show you guys a picture for the people that are watching on YouTube. Dude, you signed it already.
It was there, yeah.
Oh, you're already on top of the game. Woo! This is awesome. I didn't expect people to like bring their rookie cards, so that's why we got those. But this is 04.
That was AA, I believe. Yeah, Eastern League.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me see one of the thicker ones that I gave you one of there, so we can slide that bad boy in there. But so let's tell me a little bit about, since we're doing things a little different than we normally do on the show. But so you're a 2-time champion El Camino, right? Which is amazing. Shout out to you guys. You guys were the Conquistadores back then, right?
Yeah.
Now
definitely.
they're the. Don't tell me. Hold on. The Bears? Is that what it is?
It's not the Bears.
What is it? You don't remember?
I'm Conquistador. That's all.
Yeah.
It's always going to be Conquistadors for me, but
That's right.
whatever they want to call it now, that's their thing.
Yeah, I think they're the Bears. I'm trying to remember.
I want to
God.
say Highlanders or something. I don't know.
No, I think it's the Bears. And
I don't think it's the Bears. It's something, though.
okay.
Conquistadors was
Lionheart's
good.
gonna kill me for that one. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
Me too.
Are you involved with the local kids out there, or do you keep in touch?
We're involved with all the local kids. I mean,
Yeah.
in California, it's a baseball hotbed.
It
so,
is.
I mean, I've probably seen most all the best players at some point, whether they're in high school
Yeah.
or college.
Yeah.
Maybe when they're in the minor leagues. Either way,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's a great place, and right where we're at in Westlake is kind of, there's 20 schools in striking distance, so we get to work with everybody. It's nice.
Wow. Okay. So I want to tackle all that. We're going to start off our second segment here, besides the gift segment. So today's September 26th, and then what we do is Today in Baseball. So we go back and see dates on this day, right, in different years. I think you'll get a kick of this one. That's why I picked this one. 1971, Jim Palmer becomes the 4th member of the Orioles. 1971 pitching staff to notch his 20th victory. Only one other team in the Major League history, 1920 White Sox, boasted 4 20-game winners, and he's an Oriole, just like you. That's pretty cool.
Legend.
Oh, yeah, legend. 1981. You were born in 80, right?
Yes,
there
sir.
you go. Okay, so the year after you and I were born, Nolan Ryan of the Houston Astros became the first to pitch 5 no-hitters. He beat LA 5-0 on the Astrodome. 5 no-hitters. Nolan Ryan, crazy, man. It reminds me, and it brings me back to what you're doing, performance, right, with your company, and you guys you analyze the players' movements and all that. Back then, that was like almost non-existent, right?
The technology wasn't there. But
Right.
The best guys were doing the same stuff. It's funny.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, the technology's better now on the baseball
Right.
side and
Right.
the training side.
Right.
But he was working out.
He was.
He was ahead of the game.
Yeah.
All those guys back then. It's like Tiger. He was the first golfer that worked out, right? Everyone works out now.
He was
Someone has
diesel,
to
right?
do it.
He's walking around like,
Yeah.
like
and
you
that's
could
why he
tell.
was hitting the ball further than everybody, right? And then everyone's like, "Oh man, we got to work out. Got
He
to
looked
catch up
like
to
he,
this guy."
he did his push-ups,
Well, now, yeah, you see these guys on TV now. They look like tight
Yeah.
ends. Some of them, they're huge.
Right,
They're strong.
Yeah. So that's it remind, because Jim Palmer, Nolan Ryan. Oh, here's another one. 1993, back to September 26, 1993. Randy Johnson, of course, of the Mariners, became the 8th pitcher to strike out 300 batters in a season with 13 strikeouts. It gets better in 10 innings in a 12-inning loss to Oakland. So a lot of things jump to my mind here that relates to you guys and to your performance, to your company and what you do. Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, Jim Palmer, all old school pitchers, right?
Definitely.
Okay, he struck out 300 batters. When isn't that? We're not seeing that now.
He's ridiculous. He would have been my worst nightmare, to be honest. Big lefties like that. Those are the ones that got me, man.
Yeah.
John Lester owned me. It was yeah.
Dude.
He got me.
Tell me about that. Tell me about the Lester story.
Man, I mean, their AA team was stacked.
Really?
You got Dustin Pedroia at second.
Oh.
You got Hanley Ramirez at short before he got traded for Josh Beckett, I believe it was.
Right.
And they had Papelbon, Lester,
on top of it,
and this guy Manny Del Carmen all throwing absolute gas.
And Lester was there too.
Lester, yeah, it was Lester the first day. He would just end me, and then he owned me so bad I would be happy to see Papelbon the next day. And that dude was throwing like 95 to 100
Yeah,
too,
he was.
At least it was with the right arm, so I liked it a lot better.
He did that move, right? He did the arm thing when he hung. Remember that? Was that Papelbon?
Oh, Kimbrel, right? Kimbrel did that.
Kimbrel did that. Okay,
Kimbrel did
I'm
that,
confusing him. You're
Another
right.
Dodger pitcher that gave me a heart attack
really?
every time he came in. Yeah, geez.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are great stories, man. I mean, the fact that you got to play at such a high level, not everybody can say that. You know what I mean?
It was great. The experiences helped me to help other guys now.
Yeah.
Everyone that I met from my coaches, I'm still coaching a lot of them. So we can hook up people. The guy that recruited me to Pepperdine is the head coach at Stanford.
No way.
One of my assistants from Pepperdine is still at Pepperdine. My other assistant's at University of Texas. And so
that is awesome.
We have places that we can send athletes. So they get the good grades and they put in the work with us, and then we can try to get them to a place where they can go be successful.
OMG.
And you know what? That reminds me of how such a big but yet small world the baseball world is, right?
It's incredible, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
The baseball community, especially in Southern California.
It's so awesome, though.
It's great. It's perfect. And, I go down to Dodger Stadium, and I know players that are down there. I know coaches in the dugout. One of the Dodgers hitting coaches, I used to give hitting lessons when he was in high school. And so
look at that.
We know a lot of people in the baseball world. It's perfect.
Wow, that's awesome. We'll get into all that. That's amazing. Back to this one, just because I want to keep it related. So what I was saying was 300 batters in an inning. I mean, in a season, that doesn't happen anymore. He pitched 12 innings. No, 10 innings. That
doesn't happen anymore either.
That doesn't so. What is your take on that? I mean, I have my fan take, right? I'm just a fan. I'm outside looking in. You have a better input because you not only you're a fan, you're in the business, and you're ex-major leaguer that played, at a very high level. Versus my take. So what's your take on that in regards to pitchers pitching 5 innings, 6 innings max, 80 pitches max, and this guy's throwing 10 innings, 13 strikeouts. His pitch count was not 60. I'm sorry. It was like
I don't think they
easy.
weren't paying attention to pitch counts back then.
So what's your take on that in regards to the good and the bad? What do you think of that?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay.
The money was different too back then, right?
Yeah,
so if you're paying a pitcher $30, $40 million, you maybe don't want to run him out there for that many pitches, right? There's a business side of this stuff.
There is a business side.
Also, we didn't have established relief roles back then. Some teams didn't even have closers all the time, right? It was just guys that came out of the bullpen. Now we got a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy,
9,
closer.
Yeah.
I mean, some teams say, all outs are the same. But you see in these high leverage situations, there's certain people that rise to the occasion and certain people that crumble. And as Dodger fans, we've seen both sides of that as well. But I just think nowadays, the guys that take care of themselves, the guys that throw a lot, arm care it's huge. And guys like Alan Jaeger, Bands, long toss, yoga, they help guys. He helped Zito have a real long career. But the stronger guys are, the more durable they will be. It used to be, pitchers don't lift weights. Or you look at these pitchers, they're lifting weights, they're lifting heavy, they're doing explosives training, and they're throwing the ball hard. And when you throw the ball hard, though, you have more injuries as well.
There was seen that.
1 or 2 guys on every team that were throwing 95 to 100 when I was playing. Now every team has dozens of guys and a whole farm system doing it.
And easy 95 is like, you're at 95?
I mean, you see Gratterall, he looks like he's not even trying. He's throwing a 99-mile-an-hour power sinker. It's crazy, right?
Wow.
It's incredible. The way that the game has progressed, it's incredible. And it's tough. Like, I would tell guys all the time, some of our minor league guys, they literally are facing 100-mile-an-hour arms every single night.
So what evolved? What happened that allows us as humans to now throw 95 tops versus back in the days?
It's the training. The training has changed.
Okay.
You know, first it was baseball specific stuff, right? You
Right.
can't do football workouts, but everyone was
Right.
doing watered down football workouts for
Right.
baseball players. And then people started paying attention to arm care stuff,
Okay.
doing bands, doing long toss, making sure we have enough mobility to throw with proper mechanics.
Okay.
But strength, I'm telling you, strength is the thing. Strength is,
And that's obviously something you guys do, right? At your place?
Absolutely, yeah. I've never heard some coach say that this kid is too strong.
Yeah,
It's never been a thing.
no.
But in baseball,
Yeah.
we've always been. There's so much dogma. People are like, "Oh, baseball players need long, lean muscles." It's like, well, where do you go get that? You can't buy them in a store.
No.
You need to work out. You have to be
Yeah.
strong. You have to be durable.
Yeah.
You talk about the dog days of August. Even a minor league season, it's
Yeah.
forever. My best seasons that I had, I worked out the whole off season, and I kept working out during the season. And that's the biggest thing that we have to try to get athletes to understand. Training can't be seasonal. You know, sometimes I have a mom that calls and says, "Hey, it's summertime. My kid has 2 months to work out, getting better." Well, what about the other 10 months?
Yeah.
If he works out in the summer, his season's not till next March. What is he going to do to bridge the gap in between, right? And in a few months, you can get guys a lot better. If they train year-round, it's a lot easier. The biggest thing that I see with guys that we send off to college, a lot of them can't start if they're not strong enough. They're competing with 23, 24-year-olds, especially COVID. I mean, you had some Van Wilders in the college ranks because, God forbid, if they got hurt, redshirted the year before COVID, then they get a COVID red shirt, and then they're there for 4 years.
Was that a thing, a COVID
It's a
red
real
shirt?
thing, yeah. I think this is going to be the
red
first
shirt?
year.
Yeah?
Yeah, so that first...
Like, they had to, sorry to cut you off, but there's a red shirt, and then they made a COVID red shirt, meaning you can
So you could get a medical red shirt if you get injured, right? Or
Right.
you can just red shirt if you're not going to play.
Yeah.
But basically, everyone got a free year with COVID.
They let them keep that year.
Yeah, so
I didn't
they
know that.
expanded the rosters.
Well, that's
a lot of
good.
guys that were seniors,
Yeah.
that didn't get a chance, would have missed their senior
Yeah,
year.
yeah, that's
they
what
got
I
an
mean.
extra year to play, which was fine. But I'm pretty sure this season
They're
coming up is
older,
going to be.
and now the
Yeah,
other guys.
that's
That's
the
what you're talking
difference,
about.
right?
I got you.
And like for a guy like me, I mean, I was 17 when I stepped on campus at Pepperdine, and if I'm
You were
17,
young.
Yeah, I was 20 when I got drafted.
Yeah,
so
I
I was
remember
already,
that.
I couldn't even go out when I was in the minor leagues my first year. And I was
I'm sure someone said, "Here you go, Woody. I got you."
Yeah, I mean, when we won the championship at that point,
sure.
we had some Coors Lights on the field. That's
Right.
No champagne. You're
No
popping
champagne.
Coors Lights
You're
and rookie
popping
ball.
Coors, yeah. Or whatever. Hey, Bud Light, whatever we get.
Whatever, it was fun.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
nice. And our team was, it was fun.
Yeah.
Every year, our team, you know, meeting guys from all over the world that all play baseball, that are all trying to get to the big leagues.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was awesome.
Now that we're on the subject, we're talking about it. So, like, you know, for all our viewers out there, Woody was, you know, all city, all state in high school. Then you go to Pepperdine, and you're like all conference, all Pac-10, whatever it was back then, right? And you got drafted, so you're dominating at every level. And like you said, you know, things have changed. And then you get to the minors, and then now that changes, right?
Absolutely.
What would you say would be the biggest jump that you saw or difference when you went from the high school to a D1 school? You didn't just go to any D1 school. You went to Pepperdine. So congrats to you as well. And then you get drafted, you know, in the 10th round, 2001?
Yes.
Yeah, 2001, 10th round. And then now you're in the minor league system. And you know, what was the biggest change besides being away from home, I guess? Because you went from Woodland Hills to down the street in Malibu.
Yeah, I mean, at first I was like, my scholarship actually paid me more money than I made in rookie ball.
No.
And I went from living in Malibu to living in Bluefield, West Virginia.
Yeah, in the middle of nowhere, I bet.
A little culture shock, culture shock.
Yeah.
But it was baseball.
But it's baseball.
It's
You're
baseball,
there to play.
So that's the thing. And we're there to play, and that's what we did. I mean, it's a lot different now. They cut a lot of minor league teams now. The minor leaguers get paid better.
Now they've been fighting for that for a while, right?
You have to have it. I mean, honestly, like rent and food
Give me
was
my
2 to 3 times as much as I was making. So it's like you're in the minor leagues, you're trying to live the dream, right? But you have to lose money at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So now most of the teams take care of housing for the players, which is great. The minor leaguers make almost a livable wage probably now.
Yeah.
Where before, I mean, I was doing hitting lessons and I was doing speed lessons. I was training guys on my own team just so that I can go to Outback Steakhouse if we got a rain out.
Wow.
But you know,
That's
it's still
interesting.
it was fun. I never was bummed out because they weren't making enough money.
Yeah.
It was about the experience and it was about trying to climb the ladder, right, like everybody else. But eventually, you know, I mean, when I was in AAA, basically I was behind Rafael Palmeiro, Sammy Sosa. I mean, there was no chance. That team was loaded. So everyone in AAA. That's why I like AA. A lot of the guys in AAA, they're mad that they weren't in the big leagues. And there was a lot of older guys. To me, AA was the best baseball. It's the best mix of prospects. Guys are going to the big league soon. Guys after Double-A are going to the Arizona Fall League. Guys after the Fall League usually go to big league spring training.
No way.
And so even when I was in high school, I was playing guys that ended up being big leaguers, right? In California, that's the thing. Yeah. Every step of the way, you face good competition.
You're going to face the best of the best.
The thing in Double-A, I realized there was no more easy at-bats. If you're facing the 7th, 8th, 9th pitcher on a Double-A team, they're still good.
They're still good.
You have to battle. A lot of times in the lower levels, you get the starter out of the game, and now you got a chance to do some damage against guys that aren't throwing 100. But once you got to Double-A, if they weren't throwing that hard, they knew how to pitch.
They knew how to pitch. They know spot it.
Every at-bat, yeah. I think it was my first hat trick I ever got when I got to Double-A, and it happened multiple times.
No way.
I can't lie about that, yeah.
Woody Clifford from El Camino, a hat trick? I cannot imagine it.
Oh, I remember. Jeff Carson's got me one time, a day game. Oh, I still have nightmares about this.
Yeah? It's just, it's funny because I remember being in high school and you know, looking at the paper back in our time. I think it was on Thursdays we get the daily news, right?
Something that was
like
so cool. They don't even do it anymore.
They don't even do that anymore, dude.
Now they have max preps, but coaches don't even want to put the stats on there because they don't want a new team to know their best players. So you really don't know.
Why?
I mean, if you think about it, if a team like Jay Serra, who's a powerhouse, comes up and play, let's say, Santa Barbara High. They never played him before, right?
Sure.
If they look at a stat sheet, you can say, wow, this guy's got 8 home runs. Wow, this guy has a 1.5 ERA. So you know kind of who to look out for. You can scout it a little bit better.
I mean, but it's high school.
That's what I say. I want to see the stats. That was the coolest thing.
That was the coolest thing ever.
I loved it, yeah.
So,
Sondheimer did it, the LA Times, right?
Sondheimer. Let me take you guys back. 97, 98. Actually, I'm going to take you back even further. 94. I was at Dodger Stadium. And who am I watching pitch?
Randy Wolf.
Randy Wolf. I love it.
I was sitting behind home plate.
Did you?
One of my best friend's sister was the scorekeeper on the team.
Nice.
And I knew I was going to go to El Camino, so I would go to all their games if I could. If I didn't have practice, I was watching them.
That's awesome.
Their team was stacked.
That team was stacked. And I remember going there and watching them pitch, and it was just like, oh, this is like high school. Like this, like in my mind, you can get here through high school. This is amazing. And then 97, 98 comes. I graduated in 99. You graduated in 98, right? And I would just see Woody Clifford's ECR. I'm like, damn, again? This is what I thought. I thought Woody goes to school. Someone opens the door and says, go in, Woody. And then someone's feeding him grapes as he's walking down the hallway. And he gets the first period. Someone opens the door. And they have a seat in the back for him, right? For him, just, you know, sit back there. And the teacher says, if Woody needs a rest, let him sleep.
I wish it was
We
like
had
that.
this
There's
whole
no
thing
way.
about you. You dominated. It was congratulations to you. It was amazing.
Your face, sucker.
I mean, it must have been fun. You got Kurt Berkins, right? Was that?
Absolutely, another beast. Our team was loaded. Connor Jackson as well. And
Connor was on that. He was younger, but he was on the team.
Yeah, it was funny. He was 1 year difference than me, but 2 grades below me because I should have been a 99 guy too.
I was gonna say that's why you were so young, right?
Yeah, I skipped a couple grades when I was younger, and then I did 5th grade twice because I would have been 16 graduating high school. So when I switched schools, I did 5th grade again just to make sure that I wasn't 16-year-old senior in high school.
So you were dominating the game at a very young age.
I was young, but that was
mentally smart too. Obviously.
The key, I mean,
that's why you skip grades, right?
You got to be big enough, and you got to be to do it, right? But you know, our club teams that my dad coached, we always played up. When we were 16, we'd play against 18-year-old teams.
I thought that was the best way to do it too.
It's the way to go now. Everyone's so considered with what graduating class. How do I compare with these other 2024 guys? And I tell them, you know what? My last spring training, there's a 17-year-old Dominican kid, and there's a 43-year-old pitcher that probably should have been retired already.
Wow.
And every age in between, right?
Yeah.
And so I hate comparing. I don't like to compare athletes by grade.
Yeah.
Because in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
And now they're doing the whole, I'm going to hold you back.
Yeah,
bro, you were ahead, and now they're doing the opposite. Well, no, Woody's got to be 20 when he graduates high school. Like, what the heck? You would have hit, Jesus.
So
you would have hit 600.
So there was another guy from El Camino that got drafted by the Orioles, Tyler Kolodny, a few years after me.
Okay.
But he was almost 19, so he was basically 6 months younger than I was when I was out of Pepperdine already.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a different thing, you know. Sometimes. You know, for me, getting started in the minor leagues at a young age, I thought was an advantage.
I would assume so too.
Other people, you know, it's weird in baseball. They used
Now
to
it's
say,
different. It's a little different.
your baseball prime is like 27 to 32. The problem is most people don't make it to that, right?
Right.
Most people don't even get to
You don't
double
even
A.
get to- you don't-
They don't
yeah.
even get to double A, right? So
And
you have a few
you're
years.
three-time AAA All-Star, right?
Not a triple A. A few times
Okay.
All-Stars at
Okay.
where
But
was
you
it?
did play at
Delmarva.
AAA. Yeah.
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
triple A. We were in Canada at the time. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. You're right though. They don't get to that level. They don't
It's
even
hard.
make it.
Yeah, most people. I mean, I'm sure the stats, someone pulls them up, but it's not a high percentage of people that even get to triple A or double A.
No. Were you ever close to getting that call? Did you ever? Do you guys get a buzz? Does that? You know what I mean? Like, is there like a buzz? Like, okay, Woody, Alexis, you guys might be going up next. Is there like a thing, or do they just keep it on the hush?
For me, my first few years were my best years, and then I had some unfortunate injuries. I broke my foot twice. I crashed into a wall, fractured my back.
Oh, shit.
So my first few years were my best years.
Okay.
And then, like I said, even if I wasn't injured, I was basically playing behind Hall of Famers.
Really?
And so I never at one point thought, wow, I'm better than Sammy Sosa or Rafael Palmeiro or Miguel Tejada or Melvin Moore or Jay Gibbons, and the list goes on and on. Javi Lopez. I mean, the team was loaded. Brian Roberts. I mean,
Jay Gibbons, he went to Cal State LA.
Yeah, we know. We had the same agent. He's
Did
local.
you?
Yeah, he went to Moore Park High School.
Shit.
Yeah, he dropped bombs. All those guys. I mean, they were massive. They were twice the size of me and twice as good as me.
Did you bulk up in the minors?
You know, I tried to late in the game. I mean, I couldn't gain weight when I was younger. I would eat 2 dinners. I would do it. But for myself, if I go back in time, I would have started working out earlier.
I was gonna ask you that.
That's the
now that you
problem.
know what you know, right? And
Yeah.
you went back and
even if I didn't know what I know now when it comes to sports science and performance and player development, just get in the weight room. Just got to log hours. I was like 168 pounds coming out of high school, telling people I was 175, but I wasn't.
But you're swinging
and that was it. Yeah, but that's the thing is, you know, I was doing well and I was playing well. And so in my mind, I didn't feel like I needed to do anything differently.
Right.
We're winning championships. We're winning batting titles. But looking
you
back,
were.
that would have been the difference maker for me.
So, but what about in Pepperdine? What did you have? Maybe like a strength coach or
you know, Coach
somebody?
Esker, who's the Stanford coach, he ran our training my first year, my freshman year, and that was basically the first year that I worked out consistently. And it wasn't even. It was mostly conditioning, to be honest.
Right.
You know, Pepperdine, the stairs and hills, they can have a field day and end us fast like that. It was tough. But during the course of my college career, I did work with an outside trainer. At Pepperdine at the time, they didn't really have a designated trainer for our team. There was a guy on campus. He worked with some of the other teams.
Yeah.
But that was the coolest thing is when I retired, I went back and I worked at Pepperdine. And I trained the baseball team, and I trained the volleyball team and the women's soccer team.
Oh, that's awesome.
And that was amazing. It was awesome.
How was it to play? Because a lot of kids, you know, listening and watching it or whatever the case may be, or even players like myself back in the days, just wish they could have played at Pepperdine. I mean,
It was crazy.
What was that like? I mean, that
It was
field
huge. And
that view, you know, the whole nine. It's
It was
like
amazing.
It's Pepperdine, bro.
I mean, I was a beach bum when I was a kid, and I remember my mom millions of times.
perfect.
We're driving next by Pepperdine, and she'd be like, "Wow, I wish you
I
could go there
know.
one day."
Right.
And it happened, and I got lucky. And I wasn't gonna go there.
No, where were
I
you-
was gonna go to Florida or Tulane or
shit.
Arizona State. Those were my
shit.
3. And then my dad got sick, and when my dad got sick, I wanted to stay home.
You want to be closer.
And Coach Esker was amazing.
The head coach at the time.
So he was like our interim head coach. The head coach
Okay.
was supposed to be Coach Sanchez. He was going through some stuff himself, some
Okay.
medical stuff.
Gotcha.
And so Coach Esker was our coach freshman year. After my freshman year, it was sad because he left and went to Cal. He got the head coaching job at Cal years before he now is the Stanford coach.
Right,
And
right,
so he
right.
recruited all of us. But, I mean, my recruiting class was Dan Herron, Danny Garcia, Tony Garcia, Noah Lowry joined us the next year. A bunch of big
Noah
leaguers.
Lowry.
Our team was stacked. Dane Sardina. We had all the Hawaii boys. We were loaded. It was fun. I mean, we barely lost. The problem at Pepperdine is, you know, you got the same amount of scholarships as everybody, but it's hard to get into the school.
It's a Christian private school, isn't it?
It is, and so
Right.
like it was
So-
funny when like Long Beach State and Fullerton was recruiting me or Northridge.
Yeah.
They would say, listen, if you go to Pepperdine on 80% scholarship, you're still going to pay more every year than if you came here
'Cause it's super
on no
expensive.
scholarship
Yeah.
because it's expensive. Yeah,
expensive.
And so, but luckily, you know, if you got to be smart to go to Pepperdine anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you are, you can get grants and you could get some academic stuff too.
Well, you skipped 2 years.
Yeah, I mean,
so you were doing. You had the brains
my
there.
My mom was a college English professor, so she taught at Northridge for like 30 years.
No way.
In ESL department, and so I didn't have a choice.
But shout out to Mom. Thank you, Mom, for getting Woody where he's at now.
Yeah, she hooked me up and she made sure. My dad was always the baseball first guy. My mom was always the school first guy, and so I think it worked out pretty good.
That is awesome. Wow. That is that's just when I was I was recapping your career and all that. I'm like, ECR. Did you guys win anything? You guys didn't. I mean, you didn't win the College World Series at Pepperdine, but
no,
did you guys
we went
to the Big West and all that.
So the hard part was we don't have lights at Pepperdine.
There's no lights
because the house is there, right? They don't want games late. The Malibu. That's the only thing about Pepperdine.
If
I can ever say something bad about Pepperdine, which you really can't, it's just that it's not a college town.
It's not.
It's very expensive, right? So, we would have to be living in Woodland Hill. I'll be living closer to El Camino than Pepperdine half the time because we couldn't afford to live in Malibu,
forget about it.
And when we lived in Calabasas, there was like 7 of us in a 3-bedroom place just to be able to afford it.
That's awesome, though.
But that's the only thing is it's not a big college town. There's no football, too, right? So, the biggest sports that we could do, I would love to go watch Gonzaga Pepperdine basketball games. That was awesome. Also, our volleyball teams at Pepperdine were really good. Water polo was really good.
I didn't think about that.
But there's not like a campus hangout. There's not a lot of stuff like that. So we were hanging out wherever we needed to. But the baseball family, that's all the community you need in those situations.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Okay. Wow. Good stuff, man. We just got started too. So we did today in baseball, guys, and now we're gonna do. We're just gonna switch it up a little bit too. We'll do today in real estate. So that's where I come in, and I just speak a little bit. Not as fun as the stuff we're talking about, but anyway, so then real estate, I just want to give you guys a quick tip and in regards to the appraisal. So what happens is when you're purchasing a home, you're going to get approved for the home, and then once you get an offer accepted, you start the process. And then we have what we call appraisal contingency, where if you're getting a loan, you're going to have to get an appraisal done no matter what. If you're buying the house cash, then it's optional. You don't have to. But when you're getting your loan done, they're going to send someone to appraise the house. And a lot of people are wondering, well, how does that work? Can I skip it? You can't skip it if you're getting a loan. But the whole purpose is to make sure as a first-time buyer, second-time, whatever the case may be, if you offer, let's say, a house, $900,000. You're buying a house for $900,000. You make an offer for $900,000. The bank sends someone out there, and they say, well, the house is actually worth $950,000. Now, so what does that mean? I made an offer for $900,000. It's worth $950,000. Do I have to pay $950,000? What do you think?
I hope not.
That's right. You don't. So the appraisal tells you what the house is worth, right? Your value. You offer $900,000. It's worth $950,000. You don't have to give them the $950,000. You just give them the $900,000. Now the good thing is, a first-time buyer is if you offer $900,000 and it comes back at $850,000. Now what happens? What do you think?
Take back your offer and get $850,000, right?
Exactly. Well, that's where I come in and I help you guys out. That's true though. So I go back and I negotiate and say, hey guys, Woody wanted to give you the $900K, out of his heart, and that's what he thought it was worth. Here's proof, like 80 pages long, the appraisal report. So it's not me saying it, it's not him saying it. It's $850. Here you go. We're gonna send you what we call an addendum, price change. New purchase price is gonna be $850 versus $900, and this here's why. Now, they can still say, Woody, look, man, you promised me. And you
Sorry about it.
Yeah, exactly. So now there's a negotiation there. Now, 9 out of 10 times, we find a solution, right? Well, you meet in the middle, or you say, hell to the no, I'm not giving you a penny more. It's worth $850. The seller wants his $900, but we figured out you can cancel. Say, fine, I'm not going to give you the $900. I'll give you the $850 what it's worth. They can cancel because maybe they really wanted the $900. So it goes both ways. It's more there as a first-time buyer to help you guys. It's more there for a first-time buyer to help you guys make sure that you're not overpaying for that house. Now, Absolutely. If you choose to, you can. That's up to you. Hey, it's you offered me $950.
Well, bidding wars sometimes, right? If 5 people want the house, you might have to offer a little bit more, right?
You do pay more. Now, but once you're in that appraisal point of view, or that part of the escrow, it's just you and them. So now we're not competing with anybody else. If it's like I said, if it's worth $850, you offer 9, you can say, you know what, I'm gonna give you 8.6. I'll give you 10 extra on top of what it's really worth. I'm not gonna give you the 9, but I'll give you 10K out of my pocket because guess what though, the bank is gonna say, Woody, here's your loan for $850. You can't say, well, I offered them 9, give me a loan for 9. They'll be like, no, it's worth $850. So we're only gonna give you the $850. So anything extra is coming out of your pocket. So sometimes a buyer will say, all right, fine, I'll give you 10K more, whatever the number may be. So it is a possibility that you pay more than what the house is worth, but you're gonna know it. Now, I think what you were referring to was you're battling, right? And you and I are battling for the same house, and I offer more, you offer more, and you're like, I just paid $50K more. Well, did you? Because we're still gonna find out if it's worth it or not.
True.
You get
That's
it?
Good. Yeah.
So it's a little different than when you and I or anybody else is submitting offers and outbidding each other. That's you're outbidding each other, but that doesn't mean at the end of the day you're gonna actually pay that.
That's just getting you a seat.
Because you just said you're currently looking, right?
Yeah, we're looking.
So just some little tip for you to know. Okay, where are you guys looking at? On Ventura?
All over. Newbury Park, Moore Park.
There's no
Camarillo, Thousand Oaks.
Gotcha.
Anywhere. I mean, our gym's in Westlake, so I commuted a long time for over 10 years.
So you're good.
If we can stay close, it's great. But I'm willing to commute a little bit if we find a better spot.
Yeah, awesome. So that's something for you to take with you. It's a little tip in regards to real estate. Today in real estate was sponsored by Creoles Baseball. So check out. I don't know. Do you know Creoles? The All-American Sports Shop on Ventura.
Used to be my favorite spot.
So you do know?
Yeah, they used to lace my gloves all the time.
Yeah, he still does. So we got a new owner, but he still does it.
That's great.
Pancho, he went to San Fernando High. He's actually graduated in '99 too, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he went to SC, then ended up at COC, etc. So that's his brand. So Creoles here. This is a kids club. That's his brand here. It's you can only get it exclusively at All American Sports Shop.
Beautiful.
In Winnetka. Check it out. And then he's got I guess 4 different levels of leather. That's the interim level because of the kids, so they can break it in a lot easier.
Oh yes, nice.
So that was that segment was sponsored by them. Was go to All American Sports Shop, get your Creoles gloves, and they have bats here, so you can maybe barely see it on here. The Creoles wooden bats. So shout out to them. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. So back to what. So real quick. So back to what when we're talking about you and baseball, ECR. You have 544 batting average, which is a record at El Camino. You know that, right? I think it's
still the record, but
it's got to be the record. Yeah, I believe so.
Hope.
you're number 2 in walks in a season for 24.98, and then triples you're tied for 3rd. No, I'm sorry, you're tied for 1st. Sorry, for most triples in one season at El Camino with Alex Mejia, which was in 2000. You're in 96. He got it in 2008.
Oh yeah, Mejia is one of our athletes too. I love
no way.
Oh yeah,
that is awesome. I love how you guys just still like I said, it brings everybody together.
It's great. Yeah, he's still playing. He got up to the big leagues with the Cardinals.
No.
And now he's playing in Mexico and he loves it.
Really?
It's awesome.
You know what team he's playing with?
You know what? I do not know exactly.
I wonder if Rock sees him. A Royal?
It's the same, yeah.
Same league?
They were playing against him for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to take you back to 1998, and I was just looking at I did a little bit on I like to do the city that we're covering, right? So you were born in West Hills, right?
I was born in Burbank, lived in West Hills most of my
life.
Oh,
is that okay? I thought it was West Hills. Okay. So, but either way, this is El Camino 1998. Ramona Shelburne? Does that ring a bell?
She was an animal.
She was an animal, bro.
I see her on the TV all the time now too.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's she's a main reporter. You see her on ESPN. You see her all over the place.
Is that? Oh, I didn't know that was still her.
Yeah, she was really smart.
ECR stud, right?
Softball star.
Everything. Everything.
Went to Stanford.
Went to Stanford. The whole 9.
And now she's on TV.
And I'm like, I'm gonna bring her up because you guys same year, right? So would you like the stud male, stud female in sports?
I don't know if they looked at it like that.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, their team. I mean, the softball team was always winning too, so it was fun. Okay. And her dad was actually the assistant coach, I believe, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we would see him
No
all the
way.
time.
Shout out to Ramona. And you guys want come on the show. We'll have you highlighted as well. That was awesome. I thought it was kind of cool that I'm like, when I saw that, I'm like, at Grant, we had kind of like the same thing. We had Gilbert Arenas, and then I think her last name was Perkins. It was he was boys basketball, she was girls basketball,
yeah.
And there was an article of them, both of them together, and I just thought it was so cool. And it took me back to that. I thought maybe, did you guys have something like that? Or
It was good. We supported. We supported.
You know
their
if they
team.
wrote
We
something
would
like
watch
that
their
though,
games.
like on the Daily News, because that's what they did for them.
You know, I'm not sure if they did a baseball, softball stuff.
Yeah,
but,
it was
they were,
very
They were
cool.
always in the news because they were winning. I think we won a couple times the same championships the same years.
You know, it's funny. I was talking to some other players that graduated later after us, and I was like, you know, I didn't even think about it. Did you guys get rings in '97? You didn't. There was no.
Yeah,
you did.
Even back then, we got rings.
No way. So he was like, I don't think it was a thing. I go, I'm not sure if it was or wasn't, but.
Oh
so
yeah.
you did.
We had to go fundraise to get the
rings.
rings.
Of course, right?
It's hilarious because nowadays kids get rings for everything.
Yeah, let's that's a whole nother story.
My 8-year-old kid already has like 12 championship rings. He's like, Dad, I got 10 times as many rings as you have.
Dad, you got nothing on me.
I was like, well, mine were real. Mine were real.
No way. So you guys you got 2 rings then?
Oh yeah, I got a ring in the minor leagues with the Orioles. I got 2 rings for high school.
Right.
We got a watch when we won the conference championship in college.
Oh,
and then,
nice.
A couple club tournaments that we won, we got rings as well, too.
Way.
So, yeah, I got some rings, just not as many as my little guy.
So take me back to El Camino, 97, 98. What was your fondest memory of the 97 team? Like, was it winning it, or like what do you remember?
Yeah, I mean, for us, so my freshman year, we lost in the semifinals.
Who did you guys lose to? You remember?
We lost to Carson.
Okay.
At El Camino College.
Walk
off in the last
No.
inning. It was brutal. Yeah.
No.
Sophomore year, faced John Garland in the semifinals. Kennedy.
Garland was a stud.
Dude, he was throwing like 96. He hit us. That was rough.
I mean, he was.
And so, you know, junior year was like, all right, we got to do it this time. We were close twice, and we didn't get there. And, of course, junior year, we got to play our rival, Chatsworth, in the semifinals. Luckily, we beat them. And we would have played Kennedy again. But they tried to be slick and save John Garland for the championship game, and they didn't make it.
Oh.
Yeah, Banning ended up beating them, and then we got into a slugfest with Banning. I think it was like 13-11 or something. Oh. And it was fun. But it was
cool. What'd you go for that game? Do you remember?
I had 2 or 3 hits that first time. 3 or 4 the second time.
Damn!
It was fun. It was
cool.
Anthony,
you got to do the damn.
Yeah, we got to my favorite part was we were in the first base dugout one year and we were in the third base dugout one year.
So you got the both sides.
My first year in the championship, I was playing infield at first base, and my second year, I was playing center field. So I got to see both sides of the clubhouse. I got to be in the infield and the outfield. I mean, I grew up at that field, so it was that was amazing. But our team too is like most of us played together from the time we were 6 or 7 years old.
At West Hills?
At West Hills, yeah, all the way
through.
That's
a big deal, I think.
It's huge. I mean,
think
West
it's a
Hills,
big deal.
If you think about it, West Hills supplies baseball talent to Calabasas, El Camino, and Chaminade.
Yeah. 100%.
If everybody that came through West Hills went to the same school, oh man, it would be crazy, right? But we get split up a little bit.
Yeah.
But all of those teams were still good. So Calabasas was good, Chaminade was good, and we were good. And it was all coming from the West Hills Pony baseball system, which is nice.
That you know, now that you mention it, and you know that brings me up. So on one of our last podcasts, I challenged Eduardo Cornejo, which is a CSUN head coach, to build the ultimate Valley team and to take CSUN to the College World Series. You talked about just West Hills. That's a small, all the way on the west side of the Valley portion of talent.
I don't understand it. It's going to take the right person. It might be Coach Cornejo.
Hey, Cornejo, legendary Woody Cliffords from El Camino is a green, right?
I would have went to CSUN, but they lost their baseball program.
There you go. See,
that was the thing. Coach
as kids, we wanted to play for you guys, and you got a Woody Cliffords going to CSUN as a Matador? Forget about it.
It would have been great. My mom was teaching there, and I really like Coach Batesall as well. He runs a tight ship.
Yeah,
and
I
like
remember
that.
him.
And then he went up to Fresno and won a championship up there,
Yeah.
you know. But the fact that CSUN lost the baseball program, that's crazy, right?
It's nuts.
But there has to be somebody to come in there and have that kind of ambition to really turn into a powerhouse. Just like Fullerton was forever, right? Same idea. Fullerton every year, it was crazy. Yeah, it's easier to get some guys in.
Yeah.
But you still have to have the right people that are running it. And you got to have a vision, and you got to get the talent in there. And that's, if they do it at CSUN, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great. And then from what I heard, because it reminds me, you mentioned how at Pepperdine there was no lights, right? Well, CSUN's getting lights from what I've been hearing, which is going to be huge.
That's huge. So basically, without having lights at Pepperdine, we couldn't host a regional. So one time, my freshman year, and we ended up losing to a Barry Zito Trojans team, but we were the #1 seed at their place because we couldn't host. And our team, I mean, we started off like 30-3. We were like 3rd in the nation at one point my freshman year. And cooled off a little bit when conference happened. But not being able to host a regional when we were a top seed was tough. No home field advantage, obviously playing against USC on their field. And the same thing happened to me my junior year. It was death by Mark Pryor that time. And we were at
SC's got your number.
SC had us, yeah. We got them in the regular season, and they got us. The problem is to have depth, pitching depth at a place like Pepperdine is tough.
Yeah.
You know, SC could still roll out their 10th pitcher, and he's throwing low 90s.
Yeah.
You know, and the bottom of our roster wasn't as strong as some of those other schools, obviously, because it's tough to get into Pepperdine.
Yeah.
But the top of our rotation, I mean, having Dan Herron and Noah Lowry, and Jay Adams was our #3, and he was an All-American. I mean, we were loaded.
Yeah, you guys were loaded.
It was great, yeah.
Yeah, so no, that just because you just said West Hills, like, and I didn't think about it. Yeah, Shamana gets some of your guys, Calabasas, you guys get, like, it's just, so imagine the whole valley decided to go
to one spot
to CSUN.
That
Dude,
would be nuts.
World Series ring, College World Series, here we come. I'm not even a Matador, but I'm excited. Like, it's just crazy.
I mean, when they lost their program, they had a bunch of big leaguers. They had Adam Kennedy, Intermel Sledge.
Yeah, I remember Kennedy.
I mean, they were, Fick was on their team too.
Robert, right?
Yeah, Robert, yeah.
Yeah.
He's coaching now too. It's great.
Is he? Where's he at?
He coaches some club teams, I think either Ventura or Santa Barbara.
No way.
Yep. And the rest of his family, they still run, I think, SoCal Giants.
Oh, really?
Which is like a scout team and a recruiting team. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about exactly what Sportswest does. Like, what exactly, or what do people, like, who goes there and why? I guess is the best way to put it, right?
Good question, yeah. So I started Sportswest when I was in college.
Right.
Mostly doing baseball training, speed training.
Yeah.
I had a really good speed coach. He was a Russian plyometrics type guy, and I learned a lot from him. I got a lot faster. That helped me get drafted.
Yeah.
And so I was utilizing the same stuff to get other people faster. And I was doing hitting lessons too. I mean, obviously baseball was important to me.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to be a baseball coach, and finally I'm coaching my little guy, which is fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, the avenues in coaching baseball and supporting your family is tough. It's a lot of hours away from your family. And not a lot of money, especially when you start.
Especially.
So I started Sportswest, and, I mean, by the time I was in AA, I was training like half the guys on my AA team. And I was
How does that work, though? Like, we're playing.
Yeah, guys on my team would, you know.
And you're like, Alexis, I can help you. I'm like, bro, we're in the same bench. What are you talking about?
It's hilarious.
How does that work?
It's funny because people would always be like, one of my workout partners, one of my best friends was basically, I mean, I didn't look at it like that, but one of my competitors. He was also an outfielder in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
And I would train him. And we would talk about hitting, and we would go over. You know, Craig Wallenbrock was my hitting coach. And he's famous now. Back then, nobody knew him. He was a longtime scout. And, you know, he basically just wanted to watch hitters hit and notice the similarities. And so I learned a lot about the biomechanics of hitting. Obviously, he was my hitting guy. Then he ended up working for our agency, so we all got to hit with him, which is great. And now the Dodgers, they're basically, all of their hitting instructors are from the Wallenbrock school of thought, you might say.
No way.
Yeah, so Robert Van Skoyak, who I used to give hitting lessons when he was at Hart High School. He worked under Craig for a long time. Obviously, he's doing big things with the Dodgers, which is great. When Brant Brown was there with the Dodgers as well, he was also a Wallenbrock guy. We used to hit together. And so I just learned a lot about both sides of it. But the training is important because, like I said, if I had to go back, that would be the missing piece that I would fill in for myself.
The strengthening part?
The strength stuff, yeah. You got to be strong. You got to be ready to go. And everybody that we see on TV now is really strong.
It's true because I remember seeing guys off the field. I mean, when I see them, now it's way different than back in the days. And when you're watching them on TV, their jerseys, you can't see how ripped these guys are.
These guys are massive.
They're massive, bro. It's crazy.
I was at the Dodger game a couple weeks ago and sitting next to the on-deck circle, and I don't think some people realize how big Jason Hayward is.
He's huge.
Man, last year I was sitting on the Padres side.
6'4"?
He's a monster. He looks like an NFL tight end.
Yeah, he's like just huge.
Last year I was sitting next to the Padres on deck circle, and holy smokes, you see Machado and
Machado's
Soto,
a big guy, dude.
and
Soto's
Josh Bell was there at the time. He was even bigger. He was like
Josh is
he's like a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are massive, and it makes sense why they're throwing 100 and hitting 500-foot homers.
Yeah.
But you got to get guys strong. But that's the easy part.
Okay.
If guys show up consistently, they get strong.
Okay.
But we need to find out more. You know, if someone mom calls me and says,
edge,
"Hey,
right?
my kid's not fast," okay,
Yeah.
well, there's a lot of reasons why he's not fast.
Okay.
So we have to figure it out, and that comes to the testing. So for us,
That's what you do.
that's the first step.
Ah.
I'm not going to guess on someone's career. We have over 4,000 testings in our database.
No way.
And I've seen good, bad, and everything in between.
Yeah.
But we need to start somewhere. And so I was super fortunate. When I crashed into the wall and fractured my back, my agent introduced me to a Harvard doctor.
Wow.
He was working with the Patriots with Pete Carroll. And when Pete Carroll took the USC job, he moved out here to Santa Barbara and started P3. And so he blew my mind.
I saw that. P3.
Yeah, Peak Performance Project.
I didn't know that was
P3,
a connection.
they're running the NBA now. They do the NBA Combine. When I was there, we did the Mariners for a few years, the whole farm system as well.
No way.
But he told me, even if I had 10 shortstops, and they're all 6'2", and they're all 185 pounds, and they all hit right-handed, I would train them differently. And it blew my mind.
And you're like, why?
I said,
right? That's
and he said, some of these guys know how to sprint. Some of these guys know how to jump. Some of these guys know how to rotate. Some of them don't. Some guys move good to their left. Some guys move good to their right.
Yeah, yeah.
And so from that day on, we started testing athletes. And like I said, we have over 4,000.
That got you in that rabbit hole?
That got me in there, and it just made so much sense.
Got it.
And when I thought back to the training I was doing previous to that, there was tall guys and short guys and slow guys and fat guys and left-handed guys and right-handed guys. And we all did the same workout.
Yeah.
And I was getting faster and I was getting stronger, but maybe somebody else wasn't, right?
Yeah.
And so when we test somebody and we figure out their strengths and weaknesses, baseball, they're always judging you on that, right? The tools we talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they have a million other metrics that they're looking at, right?
Yeah, it's
exit
crazy. Stats,
velocity,
all that's
launch angle,
wild
spin
to me.
rate, right? And we have the technology to be able to measure these things now. So I love measuring things. The other thing too is it's not my opinion, right?
It's facts. Now you're like, Alexis, you need to work on X, Y, and Z because the results came out and you're pretty weak on this side, right? Basically.
It takes the guesswork out of it. And a lot of times when guys work out on their own, first, they might not know what they're good and bad at.
Yeah.
But if they go to 24-hour fitness, God forbid there's some cute girl over there, right? They're not going to do something that they're bad at, right? So they're going to keep doing what they're good at.
We're just going to do curls.
They're going to be curls and benching the whole time, right?
Good curls, Woody. Hurry.
In our facility, we make them face their fears every time in, right? We're doing stuff that they're not good at. And everyone gets stronger. The strength part's easy, but we want them to move better. We need them to jump higher. We need them to create more rotational power.
There you go.
Baseball is a power sport.
Got it.
We're either trying to throw it 100, we're trying to hit it 500, and we're trying to run as fast as possible. And we have fractions of seconds in some of these moments, right? And so there's just certain things. We test every system in the body, fast, lateral, rotational, vertical stuff. And then based on your sport and based on the position you play in that sport, certain things are more important than others, right?
Of course.
And we prioritize that. But getting people stronger is the easy part, as long as they show up.
Right.
So for myself, when I think back to myself, I was a hard weight gain. So I needed to be in the gym 4 or 5 days a week.
You needed a different routine than the next guy that
you know, sometimes an agent sends me a big leaguer.
The guy's you like 6'2"?
6'2" and 210, but I wasn't back then.
Dude, you could have, let's say you 225, 6'2".
Would have been a different
at
animal.
22 years old.
Yeah,
you would have
been. If
been
I was fast, it would have been
dingers,
a different animal.
Say, right?
Yeah, I think I hit 8 or 9 home runs. It was the most I ever hit, and that's not enough.
No, not at that level.
Not now. You better steal 100 bases if you're going to do that. I mean, you see what these guys
doubles
are doing
all
nowadays.
day too.
Yeah, but so sometimes an agent sends me a guy, right? He's already 220 pounds. He's strong, right?
Yeah.
So we need to it's something else. We test and we figure it out, right?
Something's not there.
Yeah, so it's different. It's not like hitting lesson, though, you know? You can't come in and we wave our magic wand and you put 20 pounds of muscle on.
Yeah.
It's consistent. And, you know, some parents say we need 20 pounds on my kid this summer. Well, we better see him a lot and you better be feeding them, because a lot of those kids, right, they're playing a lot of baseball, they're sweating all the time, they're burning calories. You got to feed them. You got to feed them. A lot of kids want to put on weight, don't eat breakfast. So we help them with nutrition, supplements, and whatever they need. But most importantly, we team up with them. You know, it's not a dictatorship. We treat it like a partnership. One kid came to us and said, my dream is to play at Stanford. Well, let's do it. Let's take the steps that it takes. And now he committed to Stanford. That's the cool thing.
Congrats.
My job now, it's different than what I imagined. I used to thought, I just want to be in pro sports. Just want to be in pro sports. Now,
deeper than that.
I have more joy getting a kid that never thought he could make his high school team and you help him make his high school team. A kid that never thought he can play college.
So just to get this right, you're not just dealing with pro athletes. You're dealing with the whole range of ages.
So pro athletes is seasonal, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you only train pro baseball players, you're only working in the fall, in the winter, right?
Right.
What do you do the rest of the time?
Yeah.
You better get another job, right?
But we're leaving the door open for kids that want to. Anybody can come. Anybody can come to your spot and say,
anybody can come to us. Anyone can
we'll
get
help
tested.
you depending on what you need.
Yeah, some people only come for testing.
Really?
Some people only come for training. It just depends. We have some agents that get their guys tested, and then they let them choose their trainer. But then we test them again, right? So if I tested a guy when he came home from his season, and then he went off and worked out with somebody else for a few months, and then before he left for spring training, I tested him again. He should be better, right?
Right, 100%.
He should be faster, should be stronger.
Should be,
Sometimes it's not the case.
Sometimes they're not.
And if that is the situation, now the agent can say, listen, I know this is your buddy, or I know you like
whatever
training at that spot, but you didn't get better, right?
Yeah.
So
here are the results.
Now let's go do this, right?
Yeah.
And we're all about results.
Yeah.
Every athlete that we've tested and had an opportunity to train has gotten better.
Wow.
And that's cool. But we pay attention to details. We have a very competitive training environment. That's the other thing. I like having a shortstop from Oaks Christian and a shortstop from Thousand Oaks, and then there's another one from Newbury Park.
Yeah.
And they might all just play against each other that same day, and then they come in that night and they're pushing each other.
And now they're pushing each other.
And they're working to get better. And that's the best feeling.
That is awesome.
Helping a kid get a scholarship that never thought he can play D1. Helping a kid make a high school team that can never, you know, we've had a couple kids like that. Where the mom is just like, please, if he can just make his high school team. Then he ends up playing college.
Dang.
What a win, right? It's awesome. And so we take the guesswork out to make sure that the efforts that the athletes are putting in are going to directly impact their game.
Wow.
And that's what makes us feel good about it. Like I said, it's not, we don't look on YouTube and say, wow, that looks pretty cool. Let's do that today. You know, we know exactly what the kid needs. And then we just feed him a steady diet of that.
That is awesome. You guys at Sportswest are doing an amazing job. And I want to thank you guys for that, because I think growing up, a lot of times, you know, depending where you're coming from or whatnot, we need guidance, right? We need the right tools. Like let's just use you as an example. Had someone that was really advanced at that time told you beef up and go to 225 and, you know, I don't know, do whatever you needed to do for your experience, you probably would have hit 14, 15 bombs easy, right?
Yeah,
could have changed the trajectory of your history there, but
absolutely
everything
especially
happens
nowadays,
for a reason.
The game is power, right? Speed too is great, but you got guys that can steal 50 bases and still hit 40 home runs, 30 home runs, right? So it's changed a lot, but you know, like we had a first round pick that was Thousand Oaks High School, Max Muncy. And so the scouts are going to come watch him play.
Muncy?
So it's so funny.
The Dodgers Muncy?
Different Muncy.
The same name?
Same name, same birthday. How about that? Not birth year, but birthday. It's crazy.
Way.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
They're not related.
No, completely different.
What in the world?
But when scouts were coming to watch him play,
yeah,
they could come and I can show his test results compared to like Christian Yelich or Ryan Braun. And if they say, wow, this guy runs faster than Yelich and he jumps higher than Braun, and they go to watch him play and he hits a double, makes a web gem, it looks like a good scenario, right? We can give the scouts better insight to how these guys compare and also where they project later.
So this is something the players want to do.
Absolutely.
Because now I can
players that are good. So I look at it both ways.
You can show
if a player's good and we show that they're ranked in the, you know, to get in the top 50 in our rankings is you have to be a really well-rounded
in your rankings,
athlete.
You have your own rankings.
Yeah, so we have rankings that we have, and we use those rankings for college scholarships and also for the draft.
No way.
Some of the scouts, you know, when they're not looking at 60-yard dash time and exit velocity and batting average, right? We can show them, hey, you watch Christian Yelich play.
Right.
This is what he does. this is what this guy can do, right? So they have a reference, right?
They can compare.
They can compare. And they can also go back to their scouting department and say, listen, this guy is a beast. He's ranked 10th in this database that has over 4,000 people in it. So whatever we can do to help the athlete, that's what we do.
That is awesome.
It's fun.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Wow. And you guys are located in Westlake Village?
Yeah, we're in Westlake Village, and fortunately, we get guys that come from all over. We get guys that come from Valencia and Santa Barbara and Orange County and Brentwood, wherever. Wow. We're here for everybody.
That's awesome. We'll put your information there so everybody can reach you, and you guys keep helping these kids reach their dreams, or like you said, whether it's high school, whether it's college, or major leagues, minor leagues, whatever the case may be.
Everything. From
Woody Cliffords being a legend at El Camino Real, Pepperdine, minor league Orioles, and now doing this, I think that's an amazing job, man. I'm sure mom and dad must.
It's like I don't have a job, actually.
My whole life, must be very proud.
I was fortunate enough to play baseball for a job, and now I help baseball players. So I'm very lucky, and I take it very seriously because
that's awesome.
People trusting us with their career.
Yeah.
It's a very important thing.
And you know that you understand that.
Absolutely. And if I can help them jump through less tiger traps and fire hoops than I had to go through on the way up, it helps out, right? And I had plenty of mentors that helped me, and so I would love to mentor and help other ball players.
That's awesome. Guys, we're going to wrap it up with our Fireball questions, which is sponsored by Ambiance Realty, which is a team I play for. I'm a local realtor in San Fernando Valley. If you guys are looking for someone to help you buy or sell, contact me. I play for Ambiance is the best way to put it. Ambiance Realty sponsoring this segment here. Fireball questions. Anthony, can you please put, I don't want to do 10 seconds because it seems like we always run out of time. Can you do, let's try 15 seconds. I'm going to just give you some questions just off the top of my head real quick. You just answer them. Like, there's no right or wrong. You know what I mean? And then we'll wrap up the show. So when you're ready, Anthony, on your time. In-N-Out or burger or Tommy's?
In-N-Out.
DH or no DH?
DH.
Pool or no pool in your house?
Pool.
Bun or no bun?
Bun.
2-story, single-story home?
2.
Cheese pizza or Supreme?
All of it.
Steel or no steel?
Steel.
Cul-de-sac or no cul-de-sac?
Cul-de-sac.
Dodgers or Orioles?
Dodgers, baby.
Oh, real quick. Tell me, I forgot to ask you this. Raiders.
Absolutely.
You're a huge Just give us a snippet on as to how we got into that.
Bo Jackson, Marcus Allen. Like I said, we were fortunate enough. We got free tickets for the Coliseum and for the Forum. So I grew up watching USC football and Raiders football.
I just know that every time I see Woody, it's like Raiders.
When they moved to Oakland, I went to Oakland. When they moved to Vegas, I go to Vegas.
saw that. I'm like, okay, you're die hard.
Yeah, we got a group of guys. Shout out my B-Law brothers.
Yeah, shout them out.
Travel around. They went to Buffalo. I went with them to Seattle last week. They put on a great party before the games. They're great guys.
Yeah.
You know, Raider Nation's a big family.
It seems like
with all the adversity that we face as Raider fans, we need to have a good support system.
You got to have a good support system.
So I got my B-Law brothers, and man, I was just there this weekend in Vegas.
Yeah, I saw that. It
was incredible. We lost. Awesome. That part I didn't like. But we always win in the B-Lot. That's the key.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us again at Safe at Home Podcast. That's Woody Cliffords, legendary Woody Cliffords from the 818 El Camino Real. And, of course, we'll see you guys in the next show. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
See you guys. Peace.